I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement from Rowe Middle School. It's important to acknowledge the history of the land upon which we currently reside.
The earth is powerful, and it holds terribly beautiful histories of all its inhabitants.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit,
and which we call the North Clackamas School District, rests on traditional and indigenous lands and village sites of the native peoples of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Molalla, and the Clackamas.
Rowe Middle School and the Milwaukee community in particular was the original home of the Clackamas and Cowlitz tribal nations.
These tribes have fished the Willamette River, built houses on this land, and have thrived for generations.
We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn, work, and be a community on this land.
We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation that affected indigenous and native families,
both past and present, and that will affect those in the future. And we honor the resilience and revitalization of our indigenous and native communities.
Today we honor the people and the spirits of the Clackamas, Cowlitz, Kalapuya, Chinook, and Molalla tribes.
We pay respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
All of us live, play, and work on their sacred lands.
And it is up to each of us to honor them and the indigenous people of the world through our actions,
our self-education and self-reflection.
Welcome to Wilbur D. Rowe Middle School, where the teachers are great and every single kid is cool. Truly learn with a common goal. We are safe, respectful, and responsible. Home to math minds, some of the best readers, musicians, athletes, scholars, and web leaders. Lots happening in this wonderful place, and there's only one way to stay up to date. So if you got a case of the Sandbox Blues, hit the YouTube, check the Shamrock News. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Not a thing that we cannot do. Growth mindset, it's the Shamrock News. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So if you got a case of the Sandbox Blues, hit the YouTube, check the Shamrock News. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Not a thing that we cannot do. Growth mindset, it's the Shamrock News. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Welcome back, Rowe community.
We hope your break was filled with whatever you needed.
Whether that was rest and relaxation or a change to be productive.
Thanks for having the time to join us today. I'm Kylie, aka Shay.
I'm Kaylee, aka Kylie.
And I'm Shay, aka Kaylee.
We're going to start today's episode with a reminder of how to submit your winter zine.
We're currently compiling submissions for our second zine edition of the school year.
We want Rowe students and staff members to submit poems, short stories, essays, vision boards, songs, lyrics, photos, art, memes, videos, anything.
You can submit your writing and art up until Friday, December 18th.
Just send your pieces to Mr. Dix or to rowzine@gmail.com.
We'll release the zine the first day we come back to virtual school after winter break.
Remember, our goal is to release 4 Rowe zines this year and then compile the digital zines into a physical production.
So join in on the creative fun and contribute to the Rowe Winter Zine.
Also, be sure to go check out the October zine we released earlier this year.
Available in your Google Classroom grade level hub and our social media big link.
Anywhere you go, anywhere you look, you can find me on the low with my nose in a book, turning through the pages, reading through the script, about to hit a million words. Yeah, it's lit. Said it's lit. Yeah, it's lit.
Hello, citizens of Rowe Middle School. So today I'm going to tell you about a book series I really like called Series of Unfortunate Events. Basically, it's good. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But apparently I'm supposed to add more than that, so basically I'm going to be talking about this as like the series as a whole, which is like 13 books. Mom's talking really loudly outside, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. Be quiet, Mom! Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. The genre is... how do I describe this? I honestly don't know. I know, I'll Google it. Okay, I Googled it. So it's mystery, which makes sense. That was on the tip of my tongue. Basically, a short summary of the series. There's these 3 kids named Violet, Klaus, and Sunny. Their house burns down for a mysterious reason, and both of their parents die. And so, Mr. Poe, the banker who's in charge of the orphan affairs, has to give them to their closest living relative, which so happens to be this beautiful man right here, Count Olaf. Violet, Klaus, and Sunny's parents were very rich and they lived in a mansion. And it turns out that Count Olaf wants to steal that fortune. So, throughout the series, he tries different things, like wearing different disguises, trying to marry a 14-year-old girl when he's like 60, 70, I don't know, he's old, trying to murder various people and succeeding in some of those murders. And then there's some dark secrets that I'm not telling you about because then it would ruin it. I recommend this book to anyone that just likes a good mystery series. But like I said, it's pretty dark, so if you don't like dark stuff, you wouldn't like this book. So yeah, basically this is a good book, like I said earlier. And thank you all for coming to my very awesome TED Talk. I am now going to go sleep probably.
This week's online helpful hint is changing your background on your Google Classroom. This week's online helpful hint is about backgrounds.
Understandably, a lot of us are turning our cameras off in our live classes.
Some of us don't feel like being on screen for many different reasons.
Ranging from, I don't want people to look at me,
to, my hair is not cooperating today.
Some of us may also not want to turn on our screens because of our background.
Maybe our bed is messy. Or our little sister is in the background making faces.
Or some other reason.
But now, the newest update in Google Meets is we can actually change our backgrounds.
All you need to do is go to the bottom of the Meets window.
Once you do that, a bunch of options will pop up.
You can do everything from changing your layout to turning on captions.
But we are going to focus on the button that says Change Background.
When you click on it, you'll be taken to a tab with a bunch of different options.
You can slightly blur your screen.
You can fully blur your screen, which will blur the entire background, leaving you just to be focused on.
Or you can just change the background.
Go from the beach to the big city, to a party with confetti, to outer space, to a meadow full of horses.
Now you can show yourself without showing any part of your workspace.
So give your backgrounds a shot.
Just remember, if you change them constantly, it might be distracting to yourself and others in the classroom.
So find one you like and try to stick to it for the rest of the class.
And that was this week's Online School Helpful Hints.
There is an old Cherokee proverb that states,
A Cherokee elder was teaching his young grandson about life.
"A fight is going on inside of me," he said to the boy.
It is a terrible fight, and it is between 2 wolves.
One is evil.
He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, self-doubt, and ego.
The other one is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith.
The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too.
The boy who thought about it in a minute asked his grandfather, which wolf will win?
The elder simply replied, the one you feed.
So for this week's quote, we'd like you to think about the emotions and thoughts that you're feeding inside of yourself.
Remember to check out the Rowe Podcast Network, and let's see what we've missed and what's coming up in the future.
Before the break for conferences last week, we uploaded and recorded new episodes for the Rowe Middle School Podcast Network.
So, head over to the podcast channel to check out our most recent episodes. Like the episode that features Miss Friedman telling a story from her tribe for Native American Heritage Month.
And when she would go play with the other kids, she didn't really pay any attention, so she was always messing up the games, and the other kids would get mad and say, "Little girl, you're IAS, you don't know nothing."
Also, Fallon, Curran, Stephanie, Mr. Dix, and I hopped on and discussed weird food combinations as part of our Debate Takes podcast.
So, hear me out. Fish sticks and chocolate pudding.
We've also got more episodes of Cellophane Wrapped Slugs and It's Okay Not to Be Okay coming your way.
In addition, all of you Dungeons & Dragons fans will be happy to know that we started a Dungeons & Dragons podcast.
So I play a character named Rin Demil. He is a wood elf bard who plays the pan flute. He's cool, I guess. He's neutral. That's his alignment.
So if you're interested in audio entertainment created by our Rowe Middle School One Big Team,
then head over to the Rowe Middle School Podcast Network. Subscribe now.
And if you'd like, give us some positive ratings.
Now available on Spotify, Google Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Bandcamp.
Welcome back to Caitlin's Science Show. Today is December 2nd, and you all know what that means. It's the holiday season. Today, let's talk about snow. Snow is precipitation in the form of ice crystals. It originates in clouds when temperatures are below the freezing point, which is 0 degrees Celsius and 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Snowflake begins to form when an extremely cold water droplet freezes onto a pollen or dust particle in the sky. This creates an ice crystal. As the ice crystal falls to the ground, water vapor freezes onto the primary crystal, creating the 6 arms of a snowflake. Now, each snowflake is different because obviously ice can't always form in the same way. Have you ever seen a pond freeze over the same way? No, it's always different, so you never know what type of snowflake you'll see. And that, my friends, is how snowflakes are formed. Happy holiday season. We've also started doing weekly Kahoots as well. They'll be posted every Wednesday before Community Connection class starts.
Before the break, we posted our first weekly Kahoot.
And we'd like to thank everyone who participated in that Kahoot.
Our top 3 finishers in the quiz, which featured questions like, did Mr. Dix give me too much power, are as follows.
Mr. Tate, Mr. Parrington, and Miss G.
That's all teachers, which means we need to get some students to take this quiz. You are our mother bird, and we are your babies, opening our mouth eagerly, awaiting your Kahoot answers.
Remember to take the weekly Kahoot quiz.
Located in your Google Classroom grade level HUD. You know how you talk. Located in your Google Classroom grade level hubs.
And the Rowe social media big link.
Check out this year's first edition of Will It Sport, as some folks tried to see if you could play sports with a frying pan.
Today on Will It Sport, we're going to see if we can play sports with a frying pan. Mine's cast iron, so it's really, really heavy, and it's going to be probably really difficult. But let's check it out.
Will It Sport?
Yeah! Baseball with frying pans in the bat, is a good idea. Okay. Beautiful hand. Okay. Look at that. Line drive. Beautiful. Straight to the pitcher. Not the pitcher, I think that's the ball. Good stuff. Great stuff. Whatever, careful. Look at that. Look, that's the music. Baseball with the frying pan still. Fielding this time, though. Grounders. Not Rainy Weather doesn't work. Does it sport? A baseball with a frying pan. Sure, yeah, I guess, maybe. I kind of, if you really try, it probably could work. They should make this like a national sport or something. I don't know, it'd be cool, like MLB baseball with LLP now. Like pans and stuff, yeah, sports.
Next up, frying pan shuffleboard. We're gonna try and get this into the circle. Ready? That was maybe a little too easy. Let's try it again. We're gonna go from a little bit further distance this time. Same objective, get the frying pan into the circle. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it doesn't sport. One more thing though, I have to keep it a buck with y'all. I actually really don't know how to play shuffleboard, and I don't even know if I'm doing this right. However, if the objective is to slide something into a designated space, frying pans don't really work.
Will it sport as a discus? What?
Next up, frying pan tennis. Trying to get my Mr. Slack on real quick. You know, Mr. Slack is a world-class tennis professional. So I'm trying to channel my Mr. Slack. Woo! Backhand! Ah! Here we go. Love. Takes a little getting used to. The frying pan tennis, it's sports.
The Boys and Girls Club After School program has some great new programs for you to join.
Are you interested in how to make some money?
How to take your hard-earned cash and have that cash make more cash for you?
Would you like to know the intricacies of our economic system so that you can invest when you reach an age where you can do so?
The stock market game helps students build a fundamental understanding of investing while providing students with real-world skills and practice in math, English, language arts, economics, social studies, and other subjects.
The stock market game takes you through scenarios that helps you figure out whether or not you should sell or buy.
So, if one day you'd like to stack up some dollar bills,
or rack up some commas,
then the stock market game is a great way for you to get an early head start.
And learn about how the stock market works in our economy.
Join now via the Boys and Girls Club After School program.
I'd like to give our shout out to all our amazing artists and leave you with a video of highlighting our work from Miss Jones' virtual art class.
for joining us, Rowe Middle School.
Same Shamrock time, same Shamrock place. Peace.
Sunshine in my eyes.